Maybe you aren't healing generational trauma because you haven't quite learned how to listen to understand, how to listen instead of respond, how to hold space for curiosity instead of assumption, how to sit in your truth, recognize your failures, hold yourself accountable, and try to become better. But we're all missing that one crucial skill: listening to understand. We are a reactive people. And what I've noticed on this healing journey is that it is so easy for miscommunication to occur when we have not done the work to learn how to not take things personally. So yeah, maybe you listened to how you may have shown up in another's experience. Maybe you've listened to their hurt and their pain. And this is for the estranged Black mothers especially. My question is, are you willing to listen to understand? Are you willing to listen to understand your child's experience, to understand their vulnerability in speaking in the first place? Are you willing to stand in your truth and take accountability for what you can and challenge yourself to become better? Are you willing to do these things? Are you willing to hear how you showed up and how your behaviors affected your youth? Because a lot of these millennial women that I've been speaking to lately, or that have been finding me, the commonality is the eldest older daughter plight and the Black mother wound. Yeah. Just because you listened once doesn't mean that you understood. How often have you become curious? How often have you become defensive? Yeah. It's tough. It's tough standing in your truth. It's tough standing in someone else's experience of how you showed up. It doesn't feel the greatest. It doesn't, but if you care about them, does it matter? Are you willing to get a bit uncomfortable or experience a bit discomfort so you can show your beloved that you value and respect them? Are you willing to apologize? And if you don't know how, like how I didn't know how until I was 29, are you willing to learn? Yeah. Are you willing to let go of some of them old behaviors that lost you your children, especially your Black daughters? Black millennial daughters are out here essentially motherless, and everybody mother alive. And what I'm noticing is that at least with the women I've spoken to, they have repeated their truths over and over and they're exhausted. I can understand that, right? So you're in this predicament to go completely no contact in order to protect your peace, in order to cover your esteem, in order to maintain in love with yourself, and in order to give love. Some of y'all's relationships are directly affected by your mother wound. Your relationships haven't been successful because you're still yearning for closure with that mother wound. You're still yearning to receive that certain type of love from your mother. You haven't reached that place of acceptance yet, and that's okay. You're still yearning for your mother's love. That's why your relationships aren't working out. You're putting expectation that does not belong on another because you have your mother in your circle and you're still chasing and longing for her to get it, for her to wake up, for her to grow, for her to heal. And this, not even, and now as an adult, the healing that I know that I pray for, it's not for me anymore. That ship has sailed. I found that through me, right? The healing that I pray for with so many boomers and Generation X mothers, I just pray that you seek healing and peace for yourself. I pray that you find the strength to let down your guard a bit and maybe seek vulnerability. Maybe figure out how to practice it, like gently for yourself. Start slowly. You don't have to dive right in. Vulnerability is uncomfortable. That's a human experience, sure. And I guarantee you, if you decide today to begin to try and to fail and disappoint and then to try again, I know your relationship has the potential to repair, possibly, for a lot of women that I've talked to. Of course, every woman, especially the more we journey into womanhood, and like, I'm learning all these things about myself, and I'm learning new things about my body, and like new experience in dating and love. And it's just so interesting because it's like, of course you want to share that with your mom. Of course you want to have a guide, so to speak, or like have that relationship. And for a lot of women, a lot of millennial women, our generation does not have that. And I know a lot of us are doing the work, and we're doing the healing and refusing to let the emotional wellness, the emotional well-being of ourselves be jeopardized or neglected, which I love that for us. We're doing our big one, and keep going, because it really is. There are some days where it's like, damn, you kind of think you may need, you want to talk to your mom or something like that, and then you remember. Ain't no power like the power for my mom to piss me off. Like, I'm still working on that. Breathing techniques, therapies, medication, journaling, everything. So I have to protect my peace. So I know where I stand, and I've reached this place of contentment with that, thankfully. And I feel lighter. I feel like I'm more open to love and to be loved. I know now one of my boundaries is when I am seeking love and when I am dating and seeking to experience another, potentially establish like a loving relationship with another, I cannot have my mother in any vicinity of my energy. She cannot be anywhere near me, because I have learned, of course the hard way, that I'll put that on someone that just doesn't even deserve it. Like, they don't even know you, bro. And it's like, you don't even notice that you're doing it, but then I'm recognizing these little behaviors, and I'm like, it's giving self-sabotage. So what's really going on here? And finally, it took a little while for me to like untangle all of that. And I realized, like, yeah, when I actually am desiring to be loved and to be seen and to be heard and to truly be authentic in establishing a new relationship with a potential lover, my mother's not invited on that journey. I cannot have this person who tried their best to love me the way that they knew how, and that's okay. I can accept that now. And moving forward, that's fine. Please love me like that from a distance, because it doesn't feel as savory for me. And so, yeah, you're longing for these relationships, like healthier relationships. And the reality is, sometimes we're putting so much on these people and relationships, and it's because of what we're lacking within our own familial, or specifically within our own mother-daughter relationships. I guess there's a light at the end of the tunnel for everything. You know, you got to go through it, grow through it, all that stuff. So, you know, eventually life gets better, life gets easier. Just stand in your truth and know that you are worthy of being seen and heard. And I'm finally accepting that maybe it is okay for me to be understood, like intimately. Like maybe it's okay for me to want to be understood by another deeply, passionately, I guess. Yeah, I've been learning a lot on this journey. This no contact season with my mother that feels much more permanent. I'm pretty settled, and I feel like I'm just getting like emotionally better and like healthier right now. But yeah, that's what I've learned now that I've let that ideal mother-daughter relationship dream go in my head. I've been like allowed to dream again. I've been allowed to admit to myself my really like truest desires that I think I just kind of shelved after a couple painful hurts, you know, in relationships or jobs or this or that. And you just, no, not jobs, fuck a job, but like relationally pain. And I think I shelved it and tried to then seek it within my mother before I realized you have to find it in yourself, and start practicing self-love and self-care heavy. Sometimes trying to maintain a relationship with an unhealthy mother blocks you from your relationship. Like, no, you are your own family, believe it or not. And even as tough as it is, and I have to remind myself that, like, no, I don't treat my family, myself, my chosen family, I don't treat people the same. I want to be treated a certain type of way. And while I can accept where you are right now in that journey, I cannot cut the slack. I cannot grade on a curve any further. I will not. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the people I love and the people that I feel loved by, in a way that is special to me. So, yeah, that was crazy to get all out. Yeah, you get it. I think letting go. I've been manifesting abundance and prosperity and love and health and security and just fun. I've been manifesting a very stable, healthy, semi spontaneous life. I try to be flexible when I can, where I can and when I can. And yeah, just noticing how many barriers I had up simply because my heart space was so guarded. And I think like holding this little ounce of hope specifically dedicated to my mother. And now that I feel more into my womanhood, I feel more like Deemyi Scott. Like I feel more like I know who I am and I'm not afraid to want what I want. And so now I'm just like, I'm excited to see what it feels like to live on the other side of healing and just lean more into creativity and joy and play and fun and sensuality and just lean into who I am and whatever that looks like, and know that I have the tools now to guide myself through that, and I have the proper components in my life, systems in my life to make sure that I can stay like healthy. So it's nice. It's good here. It's starting to settle a bit. I'm finally like coming out of just such a fierce cycle of grief and reckoning and growth. And I can finally like smile with my chapped ass lips because I don't feel like putting on anything. And yeah, just be here and be, I just finally feel like safer in my mind and in my body, like in my heart. I feel safer to be authentic in my truth and also still feel worthy and go through all the different human emotions and experiences. I'm allowed to be soft. I am allowed to have bad days and fall apart. You are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to you are allowed to have bad days and fall off. You are allowed to seek help from professionals. You're even allowed to take medication if you want.